Namaste. First, I want to talk about how Satan, kosher Satan, goes about convicting the world of sin. He acts as the weakest person on the planet, see to see who would take advantage of him. To and if he gets the short ends of the stick all the time, where there are rules. Say you have to pay money to get your Whopper, per se. If you don't pay, you'll be robbing them, and you're liable to go to prison for it. And if it's the case that the want to say there's a bad employee there, or more than one, and if they fail to serve you the way the company wanted to serve you, that could be a problem. I mean, to the extent that the customers feels that he or she's cheated or taken advantage of. So Satan has to go around the world, or where he is, and see how people react to him when he pretends that he's the weakest person on the planet. And he does that until he forms his judgment. And then he could convict the world of sin. Say, for example, say he wanted to go to Starbucks and wanted to get what is it, grande hot chocolate. And if there's a bad employee there somehow taking advantage of that Satan disguised as the weakest person, then he will put that into consideration when he judges the world. So say he wanted a grande hot chocolate, and the person comments, do you have money, or is somehow implying in one way or another that he shouldn't be there, he shouldn't be here buying coffee. What does he think he is? So because that person is a bad employee, that's how a bad employee is gonna think. A good employee doesn't think that way, but bad employees, they're not mindful. They get into other people's business. So Satan, being that he's the weakest person now, sees the bad employee's behavior. I'm not saying that Starbucks' employees have behaved, towards Satan in a certain way. As a matter of fact, Satan is never going to even talk about his experiences unless asked. But from then, and he'll go to other venues, other public places, and see if he's treated like another average person. If he finds that he's not being treated like an average person, he'll take that into consideration. Because he will convict the world of sin. It's not God who judges. God is, God's quintessential characteristic is be free, or let be free, something to do with let be, let it be. So God uses Satan to convict the world, and the way that Satan goes to convict the world is it disguises himself as the weakest person, and see who would take advantage of him, and he'll go to like public places, because he needs to find out how an average person is. He'll go to large companies like Amazon and Starbucks. I mean, if there's a vegetarian, he might not go to McDonald's. He'll go to Taco Bell, because Taco Bell has good vegetarian and vegan options, and see how people are treating him. If he's acting the wrong way, or if the employees are acting the way, he has to find out everything. And then, once the enough data is accumulated, then he could form an opinion and go, it seems that this is what it is. This is that way. It seems that this is that way, and it shouldn't be. That's when a problem, that's what a problem is. A spiritual problem, societal problem, whatever you call it. But with that problem lingering, we're not gonna thrive. Is like where you can't even think of when you're in that state. So Because yeah, there are two forces at work here: people who are destroying everything, and people who are loving everything, and people who are struggling in between. So Satan has already experienced everything he needs to know, and pretty soon the conviction will come, and then he'll find out why the world is this way, and then all the secret things will be revealed. So all the crazy stuff is gonna come up. I've formed my opinion. I've experienced. I don't need to even go out anymore. I don't want. I don't know. Like this is heaven for me. Like this is enough for me. Whatever I'm doing now, whatever I am in, this is enough for me. Like I don't need to go out. I do yoga, so I don't really need to go out at all. I'll clean my room if I feel like I need to, move around, something like that. But I've seen enough now, and I've said all these things because Satan will form an opinion, which is kind of biblical. Nobody pays attention to anything yet, but once I'm healed, everybody's gonna watch these videos, and the very words which I spoke, will come to fruition, and then people will go, "Oh crap!" They'll say, "Oh shh," I won't say the word, and for a few of them, they have to come personally to me to apologize to them. Otherwise, I'll just let God do whatever He does. I will not get in God's way. But that's what it is. Time is near. That's why I'm mentioning all these things. Time is near. It's never been nearer than now. Hare Krishna Manantram. I have found all the faults, and these are like societal faults. These are like brain processed faults. Like it's almost like having say you have a power cord and a strip, right? Say there's like a little a bare spot on the strip, so you could actually get electrocuted. That's how people are living nowadays, without even knowing them knowing or knowing. They don't care. They don't care if there's a live wire, in their life, and they're just living the way they're trying to live the way they're supposed to, whatever the hell that means. And bad people are dragging other people with them. That's why I'm here. I'm here to separate the good and the bad. Yahusha gather both the wheat and the weed and the weed. It's very similar words. Wheat and weed. Interesting. And separate them. I am the separation. I am gonna separate them by non-violently. I gotta always say non-violently, where people get the wrong idea. It's the things that come out of my mouth. The words are called Sanskrit words. Sanskrit. Sanskrit could make bad things disappear, just like that. I remember Ananias and Sapphira. They just dropped that on the spot. When Peter, Peter didn't use Sanskrit back then, but with Sanskrit, that's like a common thing. That's like, yeah, you could do that with Sanskrit too, Like, of course. So yeah, that's Sanskrit for you. Yeah, there's I've seen enough now. I've seen enough. How Satan acted as the weakest person on the planet for 40 some odd years, and after 40 some odd years of acting as the weakest person on the planet, and having experienced all the things as the weakest person on the planet, let me remind you, the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. I'm talking about the weak, and the Bible talks about the meek. Those are not too far from each other. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like the owner of the house comes and says, "Oh, like who are all these people partying in my house?" Mm, 911. God comes with his angels, gets them out of the house. The house is clean now, thank you, God. Hope the lighting's okay. I've worked with the lighting. I mean, not with the. Well, I've worked next to the lighting people when I was working as extra for years and years. I subconsciously picked up some things that they were doing, but I don't know if it's good enough. Shri Agni Namaha. Basically, what I'm doing is not to make it too bright, kind of like blend in with the background and bring it forward a little. That's my strategy with lighting. So it's like, give you an example. So this is the lighting that I've chosen. If I went one lower, it still works, but like this is too dark, right? So this is a little better, still works. This is a little better than before, and that's starting to get bright, too bright. So this is too bright, too bright. Like it's just, you can't. Because I've worked next to the lighting people as an extra, I know what somewhat like what works and what doesn't. So this should be like that. That should be the max. If anything brighter than that, it's gonna make me look funnier, as I'm not funny yet enough. Mm. So I'm gonna go with the brighter option. You could always decrease it. The reason why I have lighting is so that I could. I don't need dark light. I don't know how to adjust things yet. I'll find out. Shri Krishna Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste. Today is the 26th. There you go. Ana Beko Ak Kedulat Yamineka Daptil Jerura. Dapat. Tikkun Hanefesh. Get that. I'm gonna go one lower actually. Trying to finesse it. This doesn't even have that many options. So if I'm one off, then it's really off. Okay, yeah, this works better than before. Get that. Hokuma. Bina. Bina. chesed. Gevurah. Tiferet. Netzach. Hod. Yesod. Malchut. Oh, I have to do it all over again. It doesn't. I don't mind it. I want to heal. So I have to do the entire thing all over again. Ana bekoak. Ana bekoak. Ana bekoak. Ana bekoak. Gedulat yamineka. Datil gerura. Almost died. Yeah, this ritual is not a joke. It's the only choice I have. Fortunate or unfortunate. Like getting in touch with death pain all the time, every time I do this, in order to overcome the pain of spinning. Okay. Dapat Tikkun Hanefesh Ketal. Hokma. Bina. chesed. Gebura. Tifarat. Netak. Hot. Yasud. Malchut. Oh, oh. 까벨 리낫 아메카 사그베누 다하레누 노라 나 기볼 도르쉐이 이후데카 깨바밭 쇼무람 빠르캄 다하람 라카메이 지드카테카 다밋 고물람 카신 까도시 베로브 두베카 나헬 아다테카 야키드 게에 레아메카 베네 조크레이 게두샤테카 샤바테누 까벨 우시마 자아카테누 요데아 다알루못 So real fun begins when Satan decides that the world should be convicted of sin, nothing other than sin. Satan cannot, Satan especially, Satan cannot accuse anybody of anything if the person is innocent. So, innocent people, when they look at Satan, they don't even recognize him. He's invisible to them almost. But when bad person sees Satan, that person's either, going all crap, or that person wants to confront Satan. Yeah, this world will be convicted of sin. What I've observed is there are some errors in the brain thinking process of human beings in general, and that's why the world is what it is now. I mean, in order to figure out what's wrong with the world, you have to find out how an average person thinks, and if an average person thinks like a cockroach, then that town could be known as like the next Sodom and Gomorrah. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And something tells me it's gonna be more comical, but what is really comical, say like by tomorrow, 20% of like really bad, say like murderers drop dead for no reason, Who can you accuse of at that point? God? Well, how did he do it? They just couldn't wake up. Like Jesus said, one will be left behind, one will be taken. That's gonna come to fruition pretty quickly. Probably within the next 10 years. But safely, I'll say in the next 20, 25 years, what Jesus said, what King Yahusha said will come to fruition. And he himself said, whatever he said, it's never going to pass away or something like that. My words will never pass away. Okay, so I'm going to write the mantra, and then I'll do Srimad Bhagavatam, one chapter, and then yoga, and then chanting I like the idea of chanting for 2 to 3 hours, instead of doing it like Gone with the Wind, like for every 11 hours. And I do like studying Sanskrit morning and night, so it's 2 chapters a day of Srimad Bhagavatam. And if I feel like I want to study something else, I'll do it during the day, like in the middle of the day. Because I have to finish the Yoga Sutras book 4. I'm up to book 4, and this is like my 8th time reading it, or more than that. And I have to finish it because each time you read it, you download more information. So, but my point is that this world is crap. That's you want to Satan to figure out what's wrong with the world. I figured it out. This world is complete crap. It's like people. They're just trying to take advantage of the weak people because they can. And these are like people working in Starbucks and stuff. Like people working in legit places doing whatever the hell they want because they could take advantage of them just because. Dogs do that. Cats do that too. Humans doing that, I don't know. Like you might want to revert back to being a dog or something. Imagine working as a store salesman and you're discriminating actively, and what do you think is going to happen? You're at a very very large store and you're picking on little people. Not the big people, not the ones that have some sort of authority. You're just messing with little people. That's really bad. So that's where the conviction is. That's the world has to be convicted of error. Sin means error. So what is the error? It's in like the common sense brain thinking process. It's not something that you could teach. Something that you could show them. It's like you don't do that when you do this, and they most likely will not listen because these are like demonic stuff. You touch the wrong way, they'll go and try to mess with you, that kind of thing. But we'll see what happens. I'm done. I am done with the world. Done. Finished. I'm finished with the world. Cats are nice. That's about it. So is this enough for a revelation to come forth? Because I think I've done all my surveying, as a dying person, and I'm done. I'm done to what this. As of January 26th, that's 1 month after Christmas and 1 day, 1 month and 1 day after Christmas, as Ha Satan is done observing the world. He has convicted the world of sin. What is the sin? It's in like some the general human population has faulty thinking brain processes, and these are not some things you could fix. And these are not some things you could teach to fix. You have to and these are regarding sin. So like if you show them what the fault is, most likely they'll bark back at you and try to bite you. So that's what we're. That's a truth of the story. Is now I've convicted the world of sin. Do you think they're gonna act like, oh, I am so sorry I acted. You know I'm so sorry my brain process is faulty. No, this is a huge project, and after this is gonna come heaven on earth. That's the good part. But getting to that part, I have no idea what's in between. There's the 42-month prophesying of by two witnesses, of which I am claiming to be one, because I don't see any other. I don't even see like one witness out of the two. So might as well take one of the places and wait for the other one to come, I guess. Okay. Can I get? Let's see. Yes. Namaste. Namaste. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm gonna read Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll end the stream here. I guess I want to end it like this today. Yeah, if you just watch me writing the mantra every day, you'll learn how to write it without having written it in about 6 months to maybe a year, maybe earlier than that, depending on the individual and depending on how observing the person is. Observant, sorry, how observant the person is. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was kind of pretty. I like what I did there. It's almost trying in vain to be arty now. Oh, yeah, I need to change something. Baphomet doesn't like it attached to some things. Like he wants to be isolated. So take that maybe here. How's that? And put in the middle. Just don't touch it. Yeah, Baphomet is gonna convict the world of sin. Sin means error. What is the error? It's in like the most common brain thinking processes. So, which means I'm wondering how humans are able to breathe. Not all of them. Well, this is like enough percentage, enough that it's come to my attention. Thank you. Namaste.